Waiting for everything to go live. I think it should be live right now. Yep, YouTube, Twitch are live. Sportscaster just went live, and we're good to go. Cool. So it is 6:22 p.m. East Coast time. There's a showdown slate tonight. It is the Cleveland Browns and the San Francisco 49ers. What's going on? People in here right now. A couple people hopping in. We'll let some people get in. 6:22. We'll be on for about 45 minutes to an hour, somewhere in that range. What is going up? What's up, Chris? What's up, Mike? People hopping in here. Steven, what is going on? Yeah. Jason, hello. Cool. Larry's coming in. Let's take down this slate. Lots of people coming in. Mike, okay. So a lot of people coming in. What's going on, everybody? Hello, Brian. Hello, Chris. What's up? Sal, you're on point with your analysis. I appreciate that. I put a lot of time into this, so if something goes wrong, there's a chance that it's something that I just missed. Of course, there's lots of stats that you could frame in ways that make it sound beneficial for the take you have, but I try and take out as much subjective nature, I guess, as I can. Sal, Jeff Wilson Jr. is the captain tonight, right? Yeah, no shot for me there. Jeff Wilson Jr. is probably going to be inactive, right? He's probably not playing tonight. Tevin Coleman, they said, is going to be active, so I do not expect to see Jeff Wilson playing tonight. What's up, man? Thanks for the video. No problem, man. Chubb tonight or not? I think Chubb's fine. Look, right now I don't have any exposure. I don't have a single lineup in. I'll probably build a lineup, but I'm not going to be entering 2050. I've been entering the last week and a half, maybe like the last 3 showdown slates. I think I played 40 to 50 lineups using Fantasy Cruncher and getting exposure to a lot of players. So I don't have those exposures with me. I had them for those streams, so I was able to share some things on where I was going. Right now, I think I have interest. I've built the lineups. I just haven't entered anything. So, yeah, love your info. Use it for every showdown. Appreciate that. Yeah, people were asking last night about Sunday night showdowns. Sunday night showdowns are not something that's in my schedule. The pre-recorded videos I can definitely get out more often, but the live streams, no. That is if I have the time. Who's that one dude tonight? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's one that dude. What do we got? Callaway in your lineup? From all accounts, it seems like Callaway is going to be limited, and sure, anything can happen in these lineups for a showdown. Say Callaway can catch 4 balls, 60 yards, and a touchdown, right? Something like that. But if he's going to be limited, and already the wide receiver 3 in this team only usually runs 50 to 60% of the routes, and you're telling me that Callaway is going to be limited to maybe 30 to 40%, I just don't have interest. And I also don't think Callaway is a good player. Is he a terrible player? No. Last year was a rookie season. He can obviously make steps forward, but he came into camp completely out of shape. He was already getting beat out by Rashad Higgins, and I'm not shocked to see Rashad Higgins out-snap Antonio Callaway for good parts of the season. It's not like they don't have a deep threat in Odell, right? Sure, Callaway has size. Rashad Higgins doesn't have that same type of size and build, but it also comes with him being a little bit out of shape. Him not being, he's not, they said that it was an endurance issue instead of whatever it was. Yeah, right. Endurance instead of conditioning. What's the difference? Damn, that was a quick 100 watching. Oh, we already got 100 watching. Awesome. Kevin Billings says, who's your captain? Aaron Rodgers, Kevin Billings. Will the Niners run defense? What's up, Legalize? What's going on, man? You're from Awesome, I believe, right? Will the Niners run defense get exposed tonight? Exposed? I mean, yeah, it's a pretty good running back going up against them. Ricky Seals, no real interest in Ricky Seals for me. So last week we saw a lot of 12 personnel from the Browns, right? 2 tight end sets primarily. And what you got there, well, for a good amount of the game, I would say, what you got there was just an insane Nick Chubb game. So that being said, can they go back to that? Yeah, I think they did it because they're facing the Ravens. And really the Ravens secondary, once again, Jefferson now done for the year, just getting beat up left and right. But I think they wanted to attack what they thought was an advantage by doing that, and it sure seemed to be. How are the 49ers O-line? It's not the greatest. Defense is in play. Yeah, the defenses are in play. Higgins, because Mayfield needs to get it out quick. I mean, Higgins is going to be the wide receiver 3A, 3B with Antonio Callaway tonight. Callaway's back, so he's going to be like the wide receiver 3 or 4 moving forward, and so is Higgins. So when they're splitting snaps, and I don't expect a lot of 4 wide, it just cuts into both of their overall upside. Somebody said Aaron is my captain. Did great on the Pat Mayo show. Hey, Uncle Rob's in here. What's going on, Uncle Rob? What's up, man? Thank you. I appreciate that. You saw that show? Yeah. The show I did today, for other people who might not see, I did a show with Pat Mayo. His Monday show is Waiver Wire, Power Rankings, looking tonight real quickly. Any props. Pat really liked the prop on Dante Pettis. Dante Pettis was like 27.5 yards, and I actually like that too. In fantasy, Dante Pettis' price is pretty nice. You like the over? I don't really look at overs and things like that. If I ever bet on sports betting, and I haven't in so long, But if ever sports bet, it would be player props, because that's just the place where you can beat Vegas. You're not going to beat Vegas betting the line. You might beat them tonight, then you're going to have false expectations and think you'll beat them the next day or the day after that. You're going to lose. Why does Vegas win 8 figures a month? There's a reason why. It's a lose-lose situation, but it's an entertaining one where people think they can win money, and that's when you get sucked in. Higgins is out. Okay, cool. So Higgins is out. It's interesting. He practiced Saturday. They said he was likely to play. So that definitely opens up more snaps for Ratley. So inactives just came out, I'm assuming. So opens up more snaps for Ratley. Also would open up, obviously, more snaps for Callaway. Makes Callaway a more secure play. But they still said, Freddie Kitchens said that he's probably not going to be 100%. So are the injuries out on any of these yet? All right, let me just get this stuff up just so we can have the injuries when they pile in. Cool. That'll be there for that. What's going on, Justin? Don't sleep on kickers tonight. I see a low-scoring game. Yeah, I actually think the kickers are in play. Both kickers project out higher than usual for kickers tonight. That means like a half a point higher than usual. It's not like they're projected to score 10, but instead of projected to score like 7, 7.5, instead of scoring like 7.5, 8. Where do you play player props at? I haven't sports bet since last NFL season, like towards the beginning of it. So I haven't sports bet in like a year because, just looking into it, it's something that if you want to do for entertainment, that's completely fine. Like if you think there's a really good chance you're going to lose your money and you're not putting a ton of money on it, well, that's fine. If you're somebody who thinks you're actually going to be winning long term and you're not spending hours a week at it, and you're just putting in like an hour a day, or you're not even that, you're probably going to end up losing to rake and then just in general losing a ton of money. So I don't really have any place to recommend sports betting. I guess if it's legal in your state, you can get on DK Playbook, whatever it might be. I don't know what the juice is like over there, but yeah, I don't really have a specific place. Go find a local bookie so you don't have to pay the rake is bad, maybe. Thanks, Uncle Rob. Hope you're having a good day, man. Yanks, I know this is an NFL stream, but I just want to check. Yanks play tonight or tomorrow? ALDS, it's Monday. That's tonight. That's what I thought at 8. Okay, cool. How's the win in San Francisco? Big time on the Pat Mayo, bro. Thanks. Yeah, Pat was awesome. We set it up. It seems in place to do the same thing next Monday. So really, really cool. Sal, my Sunday was all green until the Showdown slate. What was that? Yesterday's Showdown slate? I don't know. Why'd you play? If your Sunday was green until then, I guess you chased your winnings a little bit. But I didn't play. I didn't even see. I guess I saw what happened because I watched the game and the accelerated tape afterwards. But I didn't play the Showdown slate. I don't even know what the pricings was on the Showdown slate. Thanks, Keith. Says he looks forward to the videos. Keeps calling me his dad. Interesting. Dante Pettis versus kickers. I'm always going to choose the position player there just because there's more upside. I do think there's an actual debate between Dante Pettis versus kickers as like a median projection. But when you factor in just ceilings, what's the kicker ceiling tonight? More times than not, 11, maybe 12, 10 to 12. Dante Pettis' ceiling is clearly, if he catches a touchdown, 4 catches, 50 yards, like it's much higher. And that's a soft ceiling, I would say. Goodwin for value. Is Goodwin value, though? He's 6,400. I mean, I guess relative to the expensive guys, yeah, he's in play for me. Who is heavier, Freddie Kitchens or Andy Reid? I mean, Andy Reid slimmed down, man. No, those football coaches, they got a lot on their minds, man. I don't know. Maybe similar. Jarvis going to regress? I don't know how Jarvis regresses. I mean, he has a career game. Why does that mean he automatically has to regress? Like, if Jarvis goes out tonight and catches 6 balls for 70 yards, is that regressing? I don't know. I mean, if you're basing it off of a career game, then every other game he goes out there and plays is going to be regression, right? But 6 balls for 70 yards tonight is a solid game for Jarvis, but at 13 points, does that pay off 7,200? I don't know. I'm not saying that's what a projection looks like for me, but I really like Jarvis Landry tonight. I think Pat on the show said that the prop for him was 5.5 receptions. I would have said 6.5 would be where that should probably be at. Probably 6 would be a tough number to bet. But 5.5, I like getting it over there if you are a sports bettor. My one friend reached out and said 4.5 at his book. Volume is really low. Is that true? Is the volume really low for people? If the volume's really low, I can do some adjustments on my end. Is that true? If somebody lets me know. OBJ or Landry? That's a huge price difference. OBJ or Landry, I don't know how. Are you leaving $2,800 on the table? Or no, $3,200? Then if you're leaving $3,200 to go to Landry, or otherwise you're spending all your money and playing OBJ, then yeah, I get to Landry. Don't put kickers in the captain spot. Yeah, definitely not. Bovada anywhere is the same. Most rake. I would not play on Bovada. Oh boy, I would not play on Bovada, especially now that you can bet in the United States in lots of places. Bovada is just the definition of sketchy. Offshore, you can never actually contact them if you want. You might take 3 weeks at best to get your money out of there. I would not play there. Is Greedy Williams in? Greedy Williams and Denzel Ward were expected not to play. I'm waiting for RotoWorld to update. I imagine the inactives are already out. We can probably do this as well, actually. Let's just go to the Browns. This will help, right? Browns injury report has not been released yet. So what time does this game start? Hour and a half is when they have to put the injury reports out. Somebody told me, though, that Rashad Higgins was out. So I don't know if the injury reports just didn't come out here. Is that the case? So I'm not seeing anything here. Do you know any local bookies who won't break your legs if you are short on a payment? No, I don't. I don't sports bet, so I don't. 49ers are impossible to predict. Too many guys. Yeah, too many guys, and now you have Tevin Coleman, likely active. You have potentially Jordan Matthews playing. I want to see what these inactives look like. It's very important, but yeah, there's going to be, I would say, 9 guys involved on their offense, not counting Jimmy Garoppolo. So yeah, they're very hard to predict. Any changes since the last video? Any changes on this? No, I mean, I made the video this morning. I'm personally, I might not even play the Showdown site, to be honest with you. Maybe I throw a lineup in there. It's definitely not one that I want to max out. It's just too all over the place. Like, sure, Showdown is usually going to be variant. This is going to be variant to the extreme. Like, there's a real chance that there are 9 to 10 players in play for the 49ers alone. You're not going to find that on most teams, on most slates. And then you factor in the side of this with the kickers and defenses. It just becomes so much more. Like, I don't want to be combing through a player pool just for one team that's usually my overall player pool. Like, it's just insane. Bounce out from an awesome stream. Never knew about this stream. Hidden gem. Appreciate that, Legalized. Thank you. How do you roster this random San Francisco offense? You don't. You close your laptop. You don't burn your $10 or whatever it is tonight. Who would you put in the captain spot? I recommend playing wide receivers or running backs. I consider George Kittle a wide receiver by all accounts, in my opinion. So George Kittle's in play, Landry's in play, and this is where it just becomes just disgusting. Like, for San Fran, the guy that stands out to me is George Kittle. But you also have Deebo Samuel, who can have a good game. Do I think Deebo Samuel can have a monster game? Not really. The same thing can be said for Marquise Goodwin. You go to the other side of this, and you have Nick Chubb stands out, Jarvis Landry stands out. It's really, for me, that stands out is the guys who seem obvious. George Kittle, Nick Chubb, and Odell. Those guys stand out as captain options for me. Landry, I want to say, is just because they've been torched in the slot so far, the 49ers this year. Like, maybe not torched, but they've been beaten up over 15 fantasy points per game. Might be closer to like 17 or 18, actually. But yeah, it's just really hard for me to see a lot of these guys have ceiling performances. I'm 5 minutes from Levi's. No wind here. Nice to know. Nice to know. Are you playing anybody from the San Francisco running backs? I would not be. No. Personally, don't want to. Now that actually, I guess the one change would be I probably don't want Matt Breida now that Tevin Coleman seems to be like he's going to be active. Anything out yet? I imagine the game's like 8:15, so we probably have to wait another 10 minutes. Jimmy G captain tonight. Do you think he's 100% healthy? Do I think Jimmy G's 100% healthy? Yeah. Why wouldn't he be? I don't see why. No reason why. He's been healthy all year. He's coming off a bye as well. Do you usually win on these Showdown slates? No, never. Does anybody win on these Showdown slates? What backs are active on the 49ers? We'll know in probably 10 minutes. No, volume is fine. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yes, low. I can hear you fine, says somebody. The volume is good. Sounds good here. Okay, so everything's good. Thanks. Yeah, I'm on the max volume. Oh, sounds good. OBJ in primetime is a thing. Yeah, I mean, lots of stars in primetime. They know the entire world's watching them instead of, like, nobody when they're playing against Oakland in California at 4 o'clock, right? Cool. Great job on Pat Mayo. Thanks, Mom. Mama's in here. What's up, Mama? 289 watching. Thank you. Sal, do you like Debo at captain? Yeah, so I really like Debo's talent. I have him in one of my season longs. I think I actually have him in 2 season long leagues. I really like Debo. It's just a matter of do I think players have ceilings from outside of George Kittle? Do I think players have ceilings in the way that San Francisco plays? I find it hard. Yeah, a wide receiver playing 68, 70% of the snaps can clearly have a ceiling game, right? You can catch 7 balls, 100 yards, touchdown, whatever it might be. I just think it's so much easier for OBJ playing 97% of the snaps, Nick Chubb in probably a fine game script playing 90+% of the snaps or close to it. Last week, if you're looking at Nick Chubb's snaps, don't get into that. He got pulled in the 4th quarter because they were blowing them out, and then it was Hilliard got pretty much a lot of run, all the run in the 4th quarter. So. Yeah, I really stick to like the Kittles of the worlds. It's obviously a showdown slate, so anything can happen. I don't know. Matt Breida can be your captain if he goes off, right? We saw with Jordan Howard a couple weeks ago. But it's just not the percentages that I'm going to probably play. Coleman out, question mark? I think we're going to get on actives in like 10 minutes for those of you that are asking. I don't love this slate at all. Yeah, me neither. It's pretty terrible. The showdown is whack. I agree. Coleman expected to go. Yeah, so people asking about inactives, we'll see in like 8 minutes maybe whenever they are supposed to be released. But yeah, earlier they said that Coleman is expected to be active, which probably makes Jeff Wilson Jr. an inactive. Keep it up, bro. Keep it up, bro. Great information all around. Thanks, Chris. Chubb as captain, Mayfield and Landry in the flex. Good stack. I don't know. You would need Chubb to catch the ball, which he can do. But his prop, I think, is at like 3 or 3.5 for receptions. Not a lot of overall yardage. I probably don't stack Mayfield with Chubb and Landry, and I probably don't do it in that way. Does Chubb outscore Landry? I mean, he's going to project to. What's going on, Gerald? So, what do you think about the defenses? I think they're in play. Ayo Rhino, what's going on? This man, Ayo Rhino, won $300,000, I think, a week ago today, maybe. Man's in the chat right now, just counting his Benjamins. No QB in this slate. Thoughts? I like Jimmy G. I have some interest in Baker Mayfield, but probably more so in Jimmy G, which might seem like it doesn't make sense, only because you have like a home favorite in Jimmy G, but the matchup is just so much better in my opinion. And like the fact that they're going to run out 8, 9, 10 players in rotations on running back, tight end, and wide receiver today, it honestly helps Jimmy G. It hurts all those players for their fantasy value, but it helps Jimmy G because they're really on. They're playing to the strengths of their offense and getting better mismatches against the defense for Cleveland. I came tied in third once, got 4,500 instead of 40K. Now I'm chasing the dream. Hey, that sounds pretty good. NFL is getting boring. We're not starting this conversation. I can't have it. Too many people get mad that we'll start talking about we'll start talking about NBA. Kittle as captain, yeah, that seems very viable. Kittle as captain, yeah. Twins Yankees showdown was easier to make lineups in than this. Why are 90% of showdowns this season awful? 90% seems high, but I mean the format in general is pretty bad, isn't it? Aaron donates $2 to the stream. If Higgins is out, can Ratley be played? Thanks, Sal. Ratley would probably split wide receiver 3 reps with Antonio Callaway, and he'd be like the guy to see less snaps in that. Okay, so here's the deal. Landry and Odell are going to play like 95+% of the snaps, probably closer to 97, 99. Wide receiver 3 for this team, if they do 12 personnel last week, it's going to be screwed. But Antonio Callaway will be wide receiver 3 more times than not. He'll be on the outside with Odell. In the slot will be Landry. But Antonio Callaway, they're already saying, is probably going to be limited and not on. He didn't want to say a snap count, but he hinted that his endurance is not up to game speed. So if usually the wide receiver 3 plays 60% of the snaps or so on this team, now you're going to have to split those 60% of the snaps with Ratley and Callaway, and that's if Higgins is out. I just don't like either guy there. 30% of the snaps is going to lead to more times than not like 12 routes run. If you're lucky, like 14, 15 routes run. That's just not enough for me to pay the price tag of an Antonio Callaway today at 6,200. Ratley is definitely a little bit better of a price tag for sure. He's pretty damn cheap at 1,400, so maybe. I'd probably say if Higgins is out, I had more interest in Ratley. But even there, it's not like I want to get to them. So thank you. Aaron donates $2 to the channel. Yeah, so that is that's a good point to kind of just bring this up. So let me know how many people are watching, by the way. But that donation, along with any other donations on stream during the month of October, so tonight, Thursday night stream, Sunday at 11 a.m. when I go live before the game start, any donations will be donated to a cause. It's a GoFundMe that we're going to be supporting this month in October. I say we because your donations will be going towards that, and I will match those donations. So if we raise $300 this month, I will put in $300. We'll send it to the family. In the beginning of November, first week of November, an individual that we're doing this for passed away last year at a very young age in his 30s. I left 2 daughters behind who are toddler aged. So this is just a way to kind of help them out, especially around the seasons, right, in terms of the holiday season. So just something that I thought would be good to do. Obviously, I think a lot of people are just donating to donate. You might not know that I'm going to be doing that, but I'm trying to let people know more and more. So I might say it again throughout this stream, maybe once. But yeah, if you are interested in donating in that cause specifically, I can link up to GoFundMe. I can send it in. It should be linked up down below, but I'm not sure if Mob Crush saved that from the last time. It did. Oh yeah, it did. Okay, cool. So it saved it from the last time. So it's linked up right down below in all the descriptions on Twitch and definitely on YouTube. But if you donate, I will just make sure at the end of the month when YouTube shows all of my donations, I'll take those. I'll pair it with my own donation to match it, and we'll send it. So there's the explanation. If you were wondering, from Sunday's stream, I think we donated we raised about $50. So with my match, about $100 on one stream. I think that's pretty damn good for having 12 streams this month. So that's out of the way. Now I can take some questions. 440 are watching. Cool. What is Pettis at? What do you mean, what is Pettis at? What's going on over there on Twitch? I'm not getting any comments. Are people not commenting? Did we catch all up? There they are. 441 watching. There they are. They all came in so late. Wow, that's crazy. It just bumped like 30 comments. What do we got? Bourne or Ricky Seals? I'd go Bourne there. Fading quarterbacks, I think it's fine. More times than not, it won't work out, but it's always fine to take those stabs. Once every 5 times, 6 times that works out if you fade both quarterbacks. Are you and Pat Mayo planning on doing any more shows together? Love both of your content. Having my best week so far. Keep it up. Hey, yeah. So right now we have scheduled next Monday. Same thing that we did today, except for next Monday. So that's as far as I know. Maybe hopefully more down the road. So yeah. Do you think Tevin Coleman is going to get many touches today because they're loaded at the running back position, Sal? So it's probably, if Tevin Coleman is active, which we should find out in like a minute or two. Tevin Coleman, it'll be Mostert, Tevin Coleman, and Matt Breida. I imagine Mostert still sees around 15% of the touches, and then the rest are split up between Breida and Coleman, which you get yourself there like a 35-35 or 40-40 split. So he'll get a decent amount of touches, but not a ton. Yeah. Where do the Browns give up the most points on defense? So the Browns on defense, they actually have a pretty good run stop. Their line is pretty solid, I would say. If I had to say anything, it's just through the air. If you're trying to pick one of those two things, the Browns are sneakily bad against good tight ends too. By the way, like their fantasy points against tight ends will look good, but they've held bad tight ends down. So George Kittle has a very good matchup in my opinion today. Delaney Walker, week 1, had 5 catches, 55 yards, 2 touchdowns. Week 4, Mark Andrews had 4 catches, 31 yards, and a touchdown. George Kittle is clearly 2 to 3 tiers above both of those players, and those are the only 2 name-worthy tight ends that the Browns have played so far this year. Jeff Wilson, maybe sneaky TD upside. I don't think Jeff Wilson's going to be active. I don't think he's playing tonight, in my opinion. If you get Tevin Coleman active, I doubt you see Jeff Wilson active. Coleman isn't going to miss 3 to 4 weeks and just randomly come back and get a full snap. Yeah, I don't think he will. And also, I don't think you should shy away from doing what's worked so far and giving rotations to productive players in Breida and Mostert. Jeff Wilson hasn't been that productive. He's just been the one falling into the end zone. Going hard on running backs and receivers, that makes sense to me. Any love for Mostert if Coleman is in? No, I don't. I have no interest in Mostert if Coleman is in. I really don't have interest in that backfield in general, but Mostert would be the last one. You and Pat Mayo should do Draftkings pick show together. Yeah, man. I'm usually up for anything. The pick show that I do on Awesemo would probably just overlap that like directly. But if there was a format that made sense and Pat came calling, yeah, I would love to help. But the show today was awesome. So if you guys didn't see it, it's on YouTube, archived, but it'll be on Pat's. Maybe it's already up. Maybe by tomorrow at the latest, it'll be on Pat's. I think it's already up on Pat's podcast. Why are you not as high on OBJ? I mean, I think OBJ is fine to get to. If I was to play 50 lineups, I would clearly have OBJ as one of my top 3 captain exposures and a decent amount of exposure. I'm just doing my interest list here is if you're somebody playing like one lineup. If you're obviously playing 150 lineups, well then yeah, you're going to get to the kickers, the defenses, the Antonio Callaways, Mostarts, all these random guys, right? But if you're playing one lineup, which most of you probably are, or at least 1 to 5, then this is where my interest would be for that sort of crowd, which is most of my viewers. So Odell is going to be a maybe because if you're playing one lineup, I prefer Nick Chubb spending up at, and then it's really hard to play Nick Chubb and Odell. It's really hard to make that correlate to begin with, but it's also just really hard in general. It might not be hard to correlate, right? Odell gets a big game early, then they run it out with Nick Chubb. But it's really hard to fit both those salaries and really like the rest of your lineup. Is Pettis worth putting in as a flex? I mean, I think so. I think he's viable today, especially at that price point. Is Pettis a good play? Good would be a strong way to put it. Dante Pettis can have a good game by his standards for how he's been playing this season, and a good game for him would be like 3 catches for 45 yards at his price tag. I think that is right around paying it off. I'm not a believer of these 3-4Xs for NFL. I think that's garbage. What people want to kind of get value in the NFL, I think that's garbage, especially on a showdown slate. If you're looking for 5Xing your value on a showdown slate, please. When the 200-point player scores 2 fantasy points and you're jumping up and down because he 10X'd or whatever it might be, and you're still finishing dead last, like, where's the upside there? Kittle breaks out tonight. Yeah, Kittle's been playing well all year. It's just he got pulled off the field in a game where they were blowing him out. Week 1, he had 2 touchdowns called back, and then they don't play last week. So, I mean, he's been playing well this year, in my opinion. Is Jordan Matthews worth rostering? I want to see if he's in. Sal, my great-grandfather, says somebody. What is up with you people? Here's our inactives. Rudy Williams out. Denzel Ward is out. Rashad Higgins is out. And Tywan Taylor, which I expected him to be out. So, that's pretty much it. Redwin's out. These guys don't really matter. Avery matters a little bit, but not much. So there's your Browns inactives. Can you see them? There they are. So what we expected, Denzel Ward being out, and Greedy Williams, those are the 2 main ones. Tywan Taylor doesn't really matter. It makes sense now that you have Callaway back for him to be out. And then Higgins is maybe the only surprise, I guess you can say. The 49ers are the thing that we need to see more about. I have like the hiccups. We need to see the 49ers inactives. That's the thing that matters more. So hopefully these come out any minute now. Once the 49ers inactives are out, that'll shore up a lot of things. We'll probably get to see no Jeff Wilson Jr. We'll get to see what they're doing with the wide receivers in terms of like Jordan Matthews, things like that. Thoughts on rostering both QBs? I never really do that. It's just so hard to do that. Like, look, you have Baker who has some rushing upside. Jimmy G, no. Like, what you need there is guys to have like 60-plus yards on the ground or score a touchdown on the ground. Because if Baker and look, if you're paying up for Baker and Jimmy G, and you're paying pretty much $10K for both of them, or right at it, and they both go off for 250 yards, 3 touchdowns, whatever it is, that's 6 touchdowns combined between the 2 of them. There's a really good chance you can fit in their other players around them and more of them that are good because you save money by playing Jarvis and Debo and these guys. And pretty much if those guys go off, you probably don't need them as much. And them going off isn't as high as a wide receiver going off for clear reasons that it's 1 point for every 10 yards, right? Easier to get to a 100-yard bonus than a 300-yard bonus, in my opinion. How utilized will RSJ be used to help the offense? Really liking him. I feel weird. I don't really want him. His price tag came up way too much. RSJ is just as similar to me as Demetrius Harris, if not same as to me as, for the most part, the third string Pharaoh, whatever his name was, Brown or something. Pharaoh Brown. Like, these guys are all being utilized similarly. Brown a little bit less. But RSJ got more snaps last week. I think he's athletic, but he got more snaps last week only because of the fact that they were just playing a lot more 12 personnel. So 2 tight ends were just on the field more. None of these tight ends are running a ton of routes. RSJ led all the tight ends with 15 routes. I don't think Demetrius Harris, according to Pro Football Focus, didn't run a route last week. He didn't have any targets, didn't have any looks, so it probably sounds right. But 3 tight ends played 30-plus snaps because they ran 12 personnel. 2 tight ends on the field to run the ball a ton, and it worked against the Ravens. And then you had Pharaoh Brown only having 7 routes run. So, like, if you want to pay $2,800 for 15 routes by Ricky Seals-Jones, I just ask you, why would you not pay the exact same thing for a wide receiver and like a Kendrick Bourne who is just dirt cheap at $200 who's going to run just as many routes? So probably around 12 routes for him today. What's the status of Coleman now? Oh, we should see any second once the 49ers post their inactives, right? This is what I'm waiting on. Clocking in. Yeah, where's your inactives, oh boy? I don't see anything on RotoWorld from them. So we got the Browns news. Yes, that popped up on RotoWorld as well. But where's the 49ers news? You know what I'm saying? Somebody says they kind of like the fullback. I'm not even use check or whatever his name is. No, not for me. They use him a lot, but a lot means like 2 touches. Slate sucks to somebody. Yeah, I agree. Terrible slate. Yep. 520 are watching. Wow, there's 520 of you watching. Yeah, hit the subscribe button. I appreciate anybody who hits that subscribe button today. We were approaching 12,000 subscribers pretty rapidly, I would say. 100 or so a day. So far today, we've already had like 150. I guess that's the little Pat Mayo bump, right? All right. I'm making one lineup and moving on to Thursday. Yeah, honestly, just save the money. Buy yourself some like Chipotle or something. Is it viable to fade all running backs today? Can't tell. I mean, it's viable to fade all the San Francisco running backs, and if you're somebody who wants to get to like Odell in the captain spot, then you're naturally probably fading Nick Chubb. So yeah, viable to fading all of them. I think it is. Also, you can play the narrative that Chubb is an underdog, whatever it might be. There's some decent run stoppers like Armstead in the middle of this defense. Greenlaw's an okay linebacker, probably a little bit better. Buckner's okay. So yeah, being a road dog in this situation may be a little scary, but we know Chubb is going to be versatile. Somebody says, Sal, your play Fitz was meh. Is Kittle your guy tonight? Yeah, if Larry Fitzgerald doesn't get in the end zone in that game, a shame. Who is your guy tonight? I don't have a guy tonight, my guy. Was meh. Man watches a video, automatically inserts somebody into his lineup. All right, so we don't got no 49ers yet. Let's see. Here we go. 49ers inactives are out. Jeff Wilson Jr. as expected. Jordan Matthews inactive. So there's some clarity. So we get Tevin Coleman active. No Jeff Wilson Jr. as expected, I would say. Jordan Matthews inactive is going to keep Ricky James a little bit alive. Jordan Matthews, Richie James in the slot a little bit alive. Kendrick Bourne more so alive. So $200 Kendrick Bourne will make him a maybe. I don't really want Matt Breida with Tevin Coleman back. What else is down here now? Yeah, so that's where I'm at. There is no Jordan Matthews. He is out, so we're going to delete him from this slate. And we're going to delete Jeff Wilson Jr. from this slate because he is out. So this is what this leaves you with. And Rashad Higgins was also out, right? So we'll delete Rashad Higgins from the slate. Bam. That's what you got. I think Dearson Johnson is active. I don't think he's going to really touch the ball that much. Week 1, we saw a split with both him and Hilliard, but since then, not really too much. So, yeah, let me just filter this. There you go. So that is updated for the inactives, I believe, to the exact person. Are Ward and Williams still out? Yeah, they're both out. Landry or Odell in the flex. That's a big price difference, so what are you doing with the rest of your lineup, I guess? Pharaoh Brown is the play. Yeah, I would not say that at all. Pharaoh Brown, in his best week possible, ran 7 routes last week. Can he catch one ball for 3 yards and a touchdown? Sure. Yeah, definitely. But in his best week possible, when they ran the most 12 personnel I think it was, I looked back 5 years and I didn't see more 12 personnel. So in his best possible week last week, 7 routes run. Best possible week in the last 5 years for that type of a player. 600 watching. Thanks for letting me know, Brandon. Sherman won't be on OBJ. Yeah, I don't think it matters. Like, if they double OBJ, that's their only real way of stopping him. A zone will not stop him. One-on-one coverage with any of those guys will not stop him. Lock in Pettis. Yeah, Pettis is a really good price point, and his snaps keep coming up. He seems to be fully healthy. He seems okay. I like Pettis. All right, Landry a no-go. No, Landry's active. Jimmy G a bad play, too. I don't think Jimmy G's a bad play. I don't think either quarterback, if you're going to pick one of them. Baker's a road underdog, so that's a little bit concerning on the road, but underdog not terrible. The San Fran secondary on the outsides has looked okay to good this year. In the slot, they've been bad, so there's ways, especially if you move Odell into the slot, to beat this secondary. Jimmy G against a beat-up secondary for Cleveland, albeit one that played well last week, but that was against a team that has literally just Marquise Brown and then like Willie Snead, right? And guys like that, no real threats there. Now you have Jimmy G coming in with like his 6 wide receivers, if you count Kittle as a wide receiver. Aaron Rodgers is captain. That's the place, says Glenn. Exactly. Sal, you a Leafs fan? No. Maple Leafs fan? No, I'm a Packers fan. Or a Packers fan. I am a Bruins fan. Let me check something here. All right. I will put Pharaoh in one of my lineups. Fair. Who benefits from Higgins being out, Ratley or Callaway? I guess both. More so Ratley, though, because he would have been the wide receiver 5 on this team. So Ratley, I guess, but it's not like it's a benefit in terms of a huge bump. It's probably going from 0 snaps to like 15 snaps, right? Proud Papa watching. Wow, is that my actual father? Because there's like people in here saying that they're my great-grandfather. But it does say Salvatore Veteran 1966, so I don't know how they would guess that. What's up, Dad? Uncle Rob's been in here. Mom's been in here. Dad's been in here. Everybody's hanging out. What's up? Go Pack Go, says somebody. Thank you. Appreciate that. We get this Davis Creations guy just putting a bunch of periods in here. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to block the Davis Creations guy. I would block him if I had YouTube chat up, but I don't think I do. It's just making it so people can't get their questions in. I don't know what's wrong with people. Oh, we hit 11.5. Wow, we've hit 200 subscribers so far today. That's a Pat Mayo bump, right? Where's the live stream? There's a live stream. I don't think the chat's gonna be in here. I don't know how to do this via Mob Crush, but we'll figure it out. Let's do it this way. Let's just do. We're on YouTube. Let's just do spam protection, excessive repetitions. There we go. Enable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117 Take him out of here. There he goes. And that guy gone. The filter allows you to time out users who repeat words or phrases. Perfect. Lovely. We got the entire family in stream. Real question. Are they playing the Showdown lineup tonight? So mom, dad, and hi, Sal's family. Somebody says with the heart. Mom, dad, and Uncle Rob, are you playing the Showdown slate? I would say don't. If you were ever to play one, this would be the one not to. Maybe that just means that it is the one to play. Picking the correct San Fran running back might be the key. Yeah, it definitely can be. Right? Everybody's going to probably, or at least I tend to want to avoid them because there's a great chance they cut into each other. It's just so hard when you're picking the correct one. Like, if you're entering 150 lineups and you're maxing it out and you're somebody who's going to be doing that, yeah, getting exposure to all of them at like a 10 to 15% clip sounds smart to me. Maybe 10% clip, less to Mostert. But it's something that if you're playing one lineup, you're probably burning your money 99 out of 100 times if you're trying to just pick which one's going to be playing a lot tonight. And they're probably all just going to be playing. That's why. You're probably going to have Mostert playing 20% to 25% of the snaps. I would say 25% Mostert, and then the other 75% split between Breida and Coleman. Glad to see you being a Boston fan as well. Yeah, just Boston for the Bruins. Then I'm a Packers fan, Yankees fan, and then basketball, I just like watching all the teams, specific players I like, but no actual team there. 8,100 and below player from Cleveland. 8,100 and below, I mean Landry, but you're leaving 900 on the table. That seems soft, but it seems okay depending on how different your lineup is. What's going on, Dan? Says Aaron Rodgers is the captain. Of course. So, yes, Tevin Coleman is officially in. We already saw that. Roto World just tweeted it. Tight ends benefit the majority for Higgins being out. It's going to lead to just as much 12 personnel as last week. Yeah, but Antonio Callaway's back. So the idea that Higgins is out matters nothing at all. Like, they still have the same amount of wide receivers active today. Antonio Callaway's back. And if anything, that leads to them probably wanting to play a little bit more, especially when he's on the field, 11 personnel. And for the most part, they'll probably play that a good amount. 12 personnel, it's something that worked a lot last week. And they should probably keep running it. But again, even if they run as much as they did last week, you're going to be playing 6 routes run. Pharaoh Brown, who's the last target. The only upside for Pharaoh Brown is if he's in the red zone and it's play action and he catches one of those tight end wide open touchdowns, right? And what you're getting there is you're getting 1 catch, 6 yards, and a touchdown. And at his price point, that's good. But even if he scores 6 points at 200, that's not locking you in to win the slate, right? It's good. It's really good. 7 fantasy points, 7.1, I guess it would be at 200. But I think that's his ceiling. And I don't even know if his ceiling wins you this slate because there's so many players that are going to get fantasy points today from the 3 guys in the backfield for San Fran, for their 4 to 5 wide receivers, Kittle, right, both quarterbacks, and then you don't even get to the Cleveland side. So trying to pick off the cheap guy who scores a touchdown today, I don't even think it's needed. Like, if you told me Pharaoh Brown was going to score a touchdown today, yeah, I'd have exposure to him. I would not tell you that that's going to make you win the whole slate because there's just so many other players that are probably going to score 12 to 15 plus fantasy points today. So then at that point, you might end up scoring well point per dollar wise, ranking good, but like jumping to the top, I don't know. How much should Chubb be in your captain spot on 150 lineups? I don't know. I didn't run exposures. I don't have exposures run, so like putting the projections into an exposure, I don't have that run right now. I would say if I had to guess, his projection is going to be like one of the top 4 players, and I'm going to hold out on putting a lot of quarterbacks in my captain spot, if any at all. So Chubb would be if I had exposure to like 4 captains, maybe 5 tonight since there's so many plays. He'd be somebody who got into... I would take my biggest stand on Odell in terms of getting to a lot of him in the captain if I had 150 lineups. Otherwise, Chubb would be number 2. He's probably a guy that I get to 30% of the time, somewhere in there. Sal, is it solid to play a quarterback with 3 targets in a showdown? Like 3 of his players in a showdown? Solid, no, but can it work? Yeah. Thoughts on Richie James? See him as a no, but he has a little potential, right? Especially in tournaments. Yeah, all these guys. So, like, all these guys who are no's right here, I'm building this sheet for the people playing one lineup tonight, right? One lineup. If you were playing 150 lineups, and this is what I would have as my sheet. Ready? If you're playing 150 lineups tonight, this would be my sheet. That would be my sheet if you're playing 150 lineups. But who the hell wants to come to this channel and see that I want every single person? If you're playing 150 lineups, you're probably going to have exposure to like 20 players tonight. So I prefer Kendrick Bourne over Richie James. He's playing more snaps. He is the overall better player, in my opinion. Glad Packers beat the Cowboys. Yeah, it was a interesting game. I don't even want to say if it was a good game. Good game if you're a Packers fan because of the win. But an interesting game where the whole team was one player, Aaron Jones. Rodgers doesn't do anything. The wide receivers catch 4 balls total. Jimmy Graham doesn't do as much as I thought, but neither did any tight end all week. So, yeah. Somebody keeps saying they want to play Jeff Wilson Jr. The man's inactive. Bruins last season crushed me. Was there for Game 7 when they lost. Yeah, man, it's crazy. Lose Game 7. Don't even get to Game 7 the year that they blow the 3-2 lead. Or the lead. What was it? Was it 3-2 they actually blew? Or was it 2-1? I think it was 2-1 maybe. They gave up 2 goals in like the last second. Crazy. Aaron Jones a captain tonight. Sal in the PME. Packers win. It says somebody. So you're saying would I rather be on the Pat Mayo experience today or the Packers winning that game? If I could only pick one, yeah, probably being on the Pat Mayo experience. That's not something that comes around that often when somebody asks you to come on a podcast. That's a very good podcast. Packers, they're going to win more games. But really big win. Do you prefer Debo or Samuel? They're the same person, my man. Debo or Godwin? He says right after that. Debo for me. Problem is both of these QBs spread the ball around too much. It's tough to depend on one guy to get you consistent points. Yeah, that's why the slate's a mess. And I think that's less true for, especially with David Njoku out, I think that's less true for Baker. Like if Baker throws 35 times tonight, primarily it's going to Landry, OBJ. That's like the most part, right? If you're telling me like 50% of the target share is going to those guys, if not more. But yeah, the real issue comes when Jimmy Garoppolo is going to have 2 to 3 pass catching running backs active and playing tonight, a tight end, and then 5 wide receivers playing 20+% of the snaps. Good video. Thanks for consistently hitting on my posts. It's appreciated. Yeah, no problem. Stack Jimmy G with Kittle or Baker with OBJ? I like both of those a lot. I think I stick to Jimmy G with Kittle, but OBJ is the bigger. OBJ is the only player in the slate that can break the entire slate. Maybe Nick Chubb. The only player that can break the entire slate. But if OBJ is contained to not having a 150-yard game or a 2-score game, and can that happen? Yeah, of course. It's unlikely that he actually goes for 150 and a touchdown or 2, right? More times than not, he probably doesn't do that. But if he does do that, he's going to break the slate. If he doesn't, I think I like George Kittle the most as a captain. $693 are watching. Wow, we have 700 people watching or so. That's pretty crazy. He was suspended. He is ready. Yeah, Antonio Callaway came into preseason, though, really out of shape. So, like, him being suspended, that usually works for most players. Like Chris Herndon, he's going to be in shape. He played in the preseason. Antonio Callaway didn't play in the preseason. He got injured. He came into camp out of shape, and now his coach is still saying, like, 2 months since the preseason, that he still has endurance issues. So, it seems scary. Why would you tell people who to take when everyone is after the same prize? Because it doesn't matter. If I have my yeses and X's here, nobody's going to put in the exact same lineups as me, right? Nobody. I'm leaving $3,000 plus on the table most of the time when I play. When I've set my exposures, I had $1,000. $4,900 was the most I can spend. So I just want to get really different. Me putting yeses on 10 players' names is not telling anybody who I'm playing at all. Is Kettle the top target tonight? Says my father. Yeah, definitely. From San Fran, Kittle is definitely the top target. Overall on the entire slate, I think the best one-on-one matchup is Jarvis Landry in the slot. If you get Odell, like, moving into the slot, which Freddie Kitchens should do, if Freddie Kitchens is actually this offensive coordinator that he thinks he's so good, doesn't want to give up the play-calling duties, well, then Odell should be in the slot nonstop because San Fran's just been torched in the slot. The outside the perimeters are where they're a little bit better. But Kittle for San Fran, yeah, by far the best option. He's had a really unfortunate first 3 weeks. They had the bye last week. Week 1, 2 touchdowns called back. Week 2 gets taken out of the game with like a quarter to play because they're just blowing out. So, yeah. Is Wilson playing? No, Wilson is out. Do you like Goodwin? Yeah, I think he's all right. Matthews or Boyd? Matthews is not playing tonight, Dustin, friend. Landry or Debo at captain? I would choose Landry there. Kittle is king spot tonight. Yeah, I think Kittle's in a really good spot. What type of contest would you enter lineup? 50-50? Tonight's, I would only enter it into the big tournament. The big tournaments. I'm not playing cash on this slate if I enter. If I enter one lineup tonight, it's going to be a huge tournament. Coleman or Debo? Debo for me. Say you only have one lineup. Who is your captain? I will remember your answer. This guy wants to come back. I have no lineups right now. I have 0. If I had one lineup tonight, it's going to be between OBJ, Nick Chubb, and George Kittle, depending on what the rest of your lineup looks like. I can't tell you a captain, and then you go blindly make a lineup and expect that to be like just my fault to come back. He says, I'll remember. All right, guy. Cool. Just looking at some stuff. Looking good. Cool. Breida is trash. Oh, I totally disagree with the Breida is trash take. When he's splitting it and has like 30% of the snaps, he can't hit a ceiling. But Matt Breida is, and here's the thing. If you look at the numbers and even watch the guy play, but if you let Matt Breida be this running back who touches the ball 80% of the time, he would probably get hurt, to be honest with you. But if he didn't, he would be one of the elite pass catching backs in this league. Matt Breida is very good in open space. He's very good at catching the ball. He's fine in between tackles, right? That's just obvious. He's a running back who has been in the league for many of years and has been solid. But this guy in the passing game is insane. San Fran doesn't have a top target. We barely have a top running back. Yeah, you definitely don't have a top target. I mean, George Kittle is your top target for sure in terms of like the guy who the offense goes through more times than not, right? But that still being said, it's not like he's and it's too early to tell through 3 games, but I would say Kittle is the top target. Wide receiver-wise, yeah, no top target there. Got to watch these games, bro. I watched all 14 games on simulation of 2x speed on the YouTube videos. That was about 5-6 minutes of all the significant plays and penalties. So I watched every single game in about an hour this morning. So there you go. For the people that wanted me to watch every single game, I did it mainly just because I was on the Pat Mayo show, just to refresh on everything from yesterday. Watched some of the games yesterday, mainly my Packers, the 1 o'clock games. I could care less about the rest of the stuff. I watched a little bit of Houston and Atlanta yesterday. Pretty awful game for the most part, outside of Will Fuller going nuts. But yeah, I watched every single game that you guys spent 12 hours yesterday watching in about an hour today. So to Sal's family, you guys raised a good son, says Dominic. That's very nice of you, Dominic. Hopefully my family's still watching. That's very nice of you. Breida or Breida? Interesting. Pettis or Goodwin? I like Pettis there for the price difference, honestly. Goodwin's going to project out better, like double the fantasy points or somewhere around there. But give me the price difference. Give me getting a little bit different there. What are the winning numbers for the Powerball tonight? I don't even know what the rules are for the Powerball. What's the number you can go up to, like 31 or something? I don't even know. 38? Who knows? Pettis, because he has been so active in a lot of volume. Yeah, Pettis slowly starting to go up in overall volume. Samuel or Mostert? Give me Samuel. OBJ or Chubb? Yeah, OBJ or Chubb is interesting. If you're playing one lineup, I think I prefer Chubb there. Where'd OBJ go? Did I delete Odell for some reason from the sample? You gotta be joking. Man, somebody deleted Odell. I guess it was me. I guess I can get him back real quick, though. There he is. OBJ or Chubb if you're going captain spot? I think I go... Oh, it's so tough. Pat Mayo is dope. Congrats, bro. Thanks, Alex. Yeah, so originally I liked Chubb in the captain spot over OBJ, but it's so clear that Odell has like the better chance to just break the slate out of anybody tonight. He's already done it once this year against the Jets, albeit probably some more steam under him after the Greg Williams comments that week. But Chubb's a yes for interest. If you're playing one lineup, though, OBJ or Chubb, that's really tough for me. I think I still side with Chubb slightly. Breida is held together with gum and duct tape with an actual zombie last year in the field. Yeah, he was an actual zombie. He was still balling out. It was crazy. Congrats on Pat Mayo. That's dope. Appreciate that. Thank you, Dominic. Oh, my father is still in here. He says thanks. Cool. Powerball, somebody says. Good points from everyone here. Good luck, everybody, says somebody. What are we, like an hour away from this thing starting? If I'm going to good at fantasy, do I have to wear a baseball hat? And if so, should I wear it backwards? Says somebody. I don't really wear it backwards. Like I'll do this just randomly around the house because it's easier to walk around. I don't know what it is. It's just maybe a twitch. But for the most part, when I wear a hat, I just wear it forward. Feels better to me, I guess. I don't know. I feel like the people out in public too, when I'm walking around a store or something, don't get on edge because I'm walking around like this, right? They're not like up against the wall looking around, a little scared. Best DFS stuff right here. Thank you. I appreciate that, Victor. Pat Mayo cracks me up. Yeah, man, Pat Mayo was really cool. Good job on the Pat Mayo. Yeah, let me know. Check out that podcast if you didn't watch it. I mean, it's also, it's not just because I'm on it, which is why I want to know how I did, selfishly. But no, it was actually really fun, and there's a lot of good information in there. Lots of good information, and really all different formats. But definitely waivers, snap counts are up already on there, so really cool. Thoughts on Pettis at captain? Wow, you're getting real off the board there. You can probably fit in everybody, right? Pettis at captain, you can probably get yourself Nick Chubb, you can probably get yourself Odell or whatever you want. Pettis at captain, he clearly has that upside. All you saw last year was long, deep touchdowns on the outside for Pettis. Wow, that's interesting. Pettis at captain, I'm going to say no, but that's interesting. San Francisco hasn't allowed any rushing touchdowns yet. Yeah, but they've played 3 weeks so far, and let's see. So they played 3 weeks, and this is who you get. Ready? You get the Bucs, who don't have a running back and definitely did not have a running back week 1, right? And Ronald Jones has a nice game against them. So this is what you can't look at, especially through 3 weeks of the year. It's such small samples. Then they get the Bengals, who have the worst offensive line in the league, right? And also, Joe Mixon was injured during this game. He only played limited snaps, 11 for 17. And then they probably had a good matchup. And then they get the Steelers in a matchup that had... So this is like the one matchup where I would say they look good, right? They held James Conner for 13 for 43. So like stopping James Conner, I would say is good. But week 1 against the Bucs, I don't think really if you have a good performance there, it's not an outlier to me. Week 2 against the Bengals offensive line, that is not an outlier to me. So what people are judging this 49ers run defense off of is holding James Conner, who has not been good all year, right? Let's get that underway. This offensive line for the Steelers and their run blocking has been bad. So James Conner, 13 for 43 is what everybody's really basing how good the 49ers run defense is. I think the 49ers run defense is middle of the pack. That's what I think. Who's inactive, Sal? So Rashad Higgins, the main guys that you need to know about, Rashad Higgins is inactive for the wide receiver. He would have been wide receiver 4 today probably, so that bumps up Damian Ratley a little bit. Greedy Williams is out, and so is Denzel Ward in the secondary. Some big guys there in terms of not big like size-wise, but in terms of good players on the outside, especially Denzel Ward. And then you have no Jeff Wilson Jr. because Tevin Coleman is back and active tonight. And then lastly, you have no Jordan Matthews, who signed this past week. Got my nephew watching you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Who is Sherman on tonight? I don't think Sherman's going to shadow. Probably not. Nice show at Mayo. Thank you. Appreciate that. Congrats, Al. Thank you, Cordy. Any considerations to Callaway? Coach Speak says he's not going to play 100% of the snaps. First off, not going to play his normal snap load that he usually will. Antonio Callaway, if he was fully healthy tonight, probably plays 60% of the snaps or so. So if he's going to be limited, you probably see 40% of the snaps. 40% of the snaps more times than not, if I had to just quickly guess, 17 routes run, somewhere in that range. So that price tag for 17 routes run is not great for me. 722 people watching. Thank you. How do I donate, says David. Thank you. Yeah, so if you do want to donate to the cause for October for the GoFundMe, that's linked up down below. You can go directly to the GoFundMe and donate, or if you want to just do it through this channel, get your name said, I'll give you a shout out, of course. But if you're on YouTube, there's a little $ next to the comment section. It's Super Chat, it's called, I believe. I've never actually done this, but I know there's a little $ section there, and I'm assuming you just hit it. I don't know. Maybe chat can help. But I don't know who just said that now because it went away. Oh, David. David Calhoun says that. He's like literally the top comment. Stayed up there. There you go. Debo or Gobbin. All right, so I got like a couple more minutes, and then we're going to bounce. Kittle should be chalky. Yeah, should be, of course. New guy. Have you ever played high in the Millie Maker? No, I've never played super high. This past week was one of my better finishes, and I was like, I think 8,000 was my best lineup. So that being said, though, do I max out the Millie Maker? No. More times than not, I play like 2 or 3 of my favorite 3 max lineups in the Millie Maker. So my goal is not to win the Millie Maker. As dumb as the goal as that might sound when you're saying it, my goal for what I'm doing right now is not to win the Millie Maker. If I was entering 150 lineups, I still would not feel that confident that I would win a Millie Maker. I would feel better than most people entering 150 lineups, but not super confident. So I just think the Millie Maker is a lottery system. You can get better at it, of course. If you follow Manny Laura, you can see how much better you can get out of it in terms of correlating and getting your stacks in order and relying on shootouts and things like that. But just where my bankroll's at and what I personally have goals for, it's playing mid-stakes and lower stakes 3 maxes is what I like to do. And then if you bank one of those, you have a $50,000 win, whatever it might be, $100,000 for NFL because they have big ones. Then you start to slowly build up and try and take down a million maker. But my goal right now is not to put all of my bankroll towards a million maker. No defenses this week. This is if you're playing one lineup. I think defenses are in play. You can see them in the Showdown tiers on Patreon if you have interest. Sal, are you interested in any defenses tonight for the GPP? Yeah, I think they're both in play. I slightly prefer the 49ers, but I think they're both in play. So how many people are watching now? I'm going to give it, 2 more minutes? 2 more minutes. GoFundMe and YouTube still taking cuts. Sal, if you have Venmo, that would be helpful if you can easily pass money along to his family. So here's the thing. I don't know if, Sal, you the man, when can you see Adam Lefko show? Who's Adam Lefko? I don't know who that is. But I don't know if GoFundMe takes anything. I've never had I don't know if they take anything, honestly. YouTube, I think, takes like 20% of donations, actually. So, yeah, I do have Venmo. I guess I can pull that up. I really don't know what my Venmo is. We'll let that open. Where do you find it? I got $3 in here. Look at that. Here's the Venmo. Bang. I guess that went in. I guess without the little parenthesis though. I think it put it in parentheses. So John G asks about that. That's a really good question. So yeah, there you go. I could definitely pass that along. David Calhoun just donated $2 to the stream, $2 to the cause. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. So far total, we've raised $8 tonight. I think we raised, with my match on Sunday, 100. So pretty good for the first overall week of this. Not bad. I like that. Half the players will be chalky at Showdown. Yeah, completely agree. Of course. Everybody's going to have ownership. All right, 2 more minutes, and then we're done. 7:20. Sal, you look older than you are. Yeah, Jim, I am 23 years old. Just turned this past June. Go Pack Go, yes. Debo or Pettis? Yeah, that's a good question. I kind of like getting to Debo if you're leaving a lot of money for sure. Oh, my goodness. Wow. John just donated $100. John, I don't know who you are, but he donates $100 via Venmo saying for the cause. Wow. Man, that is so kind of you. All right, so I need to start writing these things down in an Excel sheet so that I have all the donations in YouTube, of course, right? Because they automatically get into my account so I can see all those. But for like people that are going to do it through Venmo and these different avenues, I'm going to be doing that somewhere else. So let's do that over here. So donation, GoFundMe. What's today's date? We're going to quickly do this. I'll take questions in a second. Today is 10/7. Thank you so much, John. Wow, that is just so incredible. It'll be Monday Night Football stream. So far, $100. That was through Venmo. I just want to put the avenues of this, right? So Venmo, YouTube, PayPal, I guess we can do. There we go. Date, stream. Cool. I'll start keeping track of this in here just so we have everything, and I'll be updating that so we can show it on here, right? But wow, holy cow, man. That is so cool. Very nice of you, man. Thank you. Good luck to all. Appreciate you. All right, cool. So I'm just going to get to see the last. GoFundMe has to take a percentage. They wouldn't be in business if they didn't. Yeah, they might take processing, but I can't see them taking like 20% of your money, right? OBJ captain. Yeah, that seems fine. Somebody's saying, Sal, you're not 23. You look 40. That man must have, I don't even know what, beer goggles on. Better cap your match, says Easy F&E. Nah, man. Why do I need to cap the match? If people want to donate more because I'm matching to that, it's good to go. It's good to go. All right. I'm out. That is it. Thank you for tuning in. Jumping over to Osmo to see some ownership. Have a good night, Sal. Yep, I'm going to bounce. Best of luck if you're playing this slate. I'd say there's like a 60% chance I don't. If I do, it's going to be like one lineup, which we all know is very, very small chances of doing anything there. So thank you. Thanks for saying that stuff about the video. Thank you. Appreciate you tuning in. My name's Sal. You already know that. The initial picks video will be out tomorrow. If you can check out the podcast, it really helps me out if you just leave a review on the podcast as well. You can find that just my name on any podcast platform. So yeah, thank you. Appreciate you tuning in. Peace out, gang.